I would feel defensive, but then I would like kind of suppress it. But learning that suppression is bad too, right?
And then judging yourself
myself,
for being defensive.
Judging myself. And also,
wow, guys, it's been 2 years.
yes, it has.
Yeah, we started this podcast like during pandemic, right? I think like if you guys listen back to our very first episode, it's kind of crazy to see how far we've come. Like we were so awkward, dude.
Yeah.
I always thought, I didn't think it was awkward.
Oh, really?
I thought it always flowed like pretty smoothly.
Oh my gosh. Or maybe obviously like you're your own worst critic. But yeah, we've hit like the 2-year mark. And so, yeah, before we get into this week's episode about things we've learned through the podcast for the last couple years, we're just gonna do a little check-in. Julia,
this was a busy week for me. So my sister graduated from college. Yeah, I mean, it was different, right? My parents flew in for mine, and they were joking that they wouldn't attend hers because her graduation was at 8 a.m. So
was that 8 a.m.?
Yeah.
That's early.
That's freaking painful.
Yeah, so we got up at like 5. I drove down. Like I thought we were going to our apartment, but we were going straight to the arena. So I have to put makeup on a face I did not wash. And I had to, like, I did not brush my teeth, did not brush my hair, nothing like that.
Wow.
Absolutely nothing.
Wait, what did those photos look like?
I think it looks pretty nice though. Like my mom was thoroughly surprised because I spent a little more time in the car, but yeah. I thought it turned out all right. It was a super hot day. Good for her. She's still not home, but yep, it was a proud older sister moment. And then some new things I've never experienced before. I went to something called a med prom, and that was exciting too.
Can you explain to the people what med prom is?
Yeah, I thought it was a joke at first when it was mentioned a couple months back, but essentially all the so the way the years work out, I don't know if it's always like this, but there's a point when they're missing a class because when the first years are still in first year, the second years are a third year. So it was like a prom. I thought it was kind of a joke. Everyone just kind of came to party, but people were in full on gowns, like dresses, like men all suited up.
Like tux or like suit?
I think suit. Like I'm gonna go with suit. It wasn't like super fancy.
Wait, tux is like if you wear something on the inside?
Like that's with the vest and all that, right?
I think so. Or like
they all look the same. No. But yeah, it was so I didn't mean to be working during the job or during med prom, but it is commonly known for medical students to have like engineering significant others. And so, I was just letting like my boyfriend have a fun time. So while in line, I would just like meet random people and they just all happened to be software engineers.
Oh,
so
wow.
I couldn't, then you have to find a common ground and talk about something. So then I didn't mean to like recruit them, but then I would like talk to them, and since I don't have an Instagram or I'm not trying to give away my number for free, so we would connect on LinkedIn.
Oh,
so
smart.
That was that. I did I met a couple. This is a very common name. A couple Nicholases. Yeah, I connected with a couple Nicholases, and I only remember that because there were so many Nicholases that I connected with.
Wow.
So that happened, and of all the years living in Los Angeles, I never knew where Otis was, but I finally know where it is now.
Is that towards the Getty?
It's in the OC, no?
Both are absolutely incorrect. Well, I went to Otis and I went to their senior art show, so that was super, super cool. Yeah, it was a full week of events.
That's crazy.
Wow. Okay, well, yeah, my sister too also graduated from USC.
Wait, are they the same age then?
Yeah,
they are.
Yeah. It's funny because like me, Julie, and Shanae, all of our younger siblings are the same year too.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And I think it's one of the most competitive years because it's like the year 2000. Like everyone wanted a 2000 baby, and then on top of that, if you're Asian and like follow the Chinese zodiac, it's the year of the dragon, and so a lot of people wanted the dragon babies.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Damn.
Wait, but Rachel is 99, huh?
Yeah.
And December.
Yeah. So she was supposed to be born January of 2000. I don't remember her because she was born I think like 3 weeks earlier. So she was supposed to be the first or second week of January.
I see.
But Yeah.
She didn't make it. She said,
Yeah.
I'm gonna pop
She was,
out.
yeah, a preemie baby.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, yeah, it was the worst state in Los Angeles, USC grad. I hate graduations so much. It was, of course, like 90 degrees.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Oh, like when it was really hot last week?
Yeah,
or-
literally the heat wave. And
Yeah.
so I was so stressed out. I Ubered to the campus, and then I also walked the entire like perimeter.
Oh my God.
Perimeter.
Premises?
Perimeter of the campus because I was trying to find my mom a program. So I literally talked to everyone.
Wow.
Somebody misheard me. I was like, oh, where did you get that program? And they said, oh, over there. It's cash only though. And I was like, shoot, I don't have cash. And then he gave me his $2 bill to go get the program.
You had to pay for the program?
That's what I was just
No,
thinking.
yeah, I was like so confused. And then I go over there. Mind you, I took this man's money, and then there's water. It's just water. And so I think he misheard me.
He gave you a $2 bill?
Yeah.
Wow, that's lucky.
That's nice.
No, I know.
That's
I was
nice.
like, wait, don't give me the $2 bill. Because he had a 10, right? I was like, I'll take the 10 and I'll Venmo you. And he was like, no. And he was like, just take this. And I was like, no, that's your lucky $2 bill.
Wait, also the water was only $2?
It was $1 actually. Yeah.
Was it
was pretty
actually,
good.
was it full size or was it mini?
No, it was like, no, it wasn't mini. It was like
the
regular.
regular
medium.
Oh.
It was-
like this one?
It was like a this one. You know, like the
I
ones
think
in
I know.
like
I
the,
think the
in
air,
like the
that's the
tin
airport
cans.
one. Wait, ew. Tin
What?
can water bottle?
In like the silver metallic can. yeah, okay. Well, I didn't get the water, but I got $2 and the free
Oh
program.
my god.
Okay, yeah, so the program was free.
Yeah, it was free. It was
Okay,
free.
great.
I was
Wait,
gonna start
sorry.
shitting on USC for like making.
Wait, for charging,
wait,
right?
Program?
Interjection. I totally forgot this, and I know my sister would appreciate it if I mentioned it. My sister's on the program. No way. She's on all the communication for
That's
like every
cool.
year they like ask you to donate. So she's wearing the legacy what do you call it? Not the stole, but the
Tassel?
No wait. The tassel is this thingy. What is the rope? It's been too long.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, so
Wait, that's so cool.
because she also works for the like student engagement
Wow.
alumni, like that's what she like
Oh,
where
wait,
she
that's so
works at
cool.
school. So she is literally on every single program of the business school like pamphlet.
Wait, that's
and
amazing.
on all the like emails sent out to the
Oh
parents.
my gosh.
That's so cool.
Okay, Rachel is
So her debut.
yeah,
Her debut.
yeah, she's famous.
Wait, do your parents know about this?
So we were sitting down, and who really like reads the entire program, you know?
Yeah.
So I didn't look through all of it, and then my dad left, and my mom's just like they hadn't started yet because it's the biggest like program at SDSU. So we're just sitting there, and my mom was just like casually looking through, and she goes, I'm like, what? And just Rachel's face was right there with
Oh
one of her
my
like
gosh.
closest college friends. Just there's three of them are just there on the program.
Oh
So my dad comes back and we're like, you should take a look at the program. And then my mom just gave it away too much. She was like, yeah, till the end. And so he just like flips to the back and sees my sister's face.
Aw, I
yeah.
see. Yeah. Yeah, it was very hot. People were passing out. Yeah, no, the ceremony started late because somebody passed out. Because mind you, it's a tradition at USC to like go to this bar at like 5 or 6 a.m. the morning of graduation, and so people are drunk, people are dehydrated, people are hungover. Like it was a
it was
whole
hot.
So
thing.
the student
And it was hot.
passed out.
Yeah.
Wait, did you do that?
No, I don't. Sorry, no, I don't participate in a lot of the traditions.
Gosh.
Yeah,
Oh,
and so
gosh.
that was fun. And then I also, aside from that, saw the love of my life in person, Zach Fox. So, for reference, Zach Fox.
Yeah, we need
That
a
is her
reference. We need a
love of her
reference.
life.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm like actually obsessed with him and Kenny Beats, just for the record. And so he is. Would you call him a musician?
He's a multifaceted person.
Yes.
In the entertainment industry.
Yes. And so he does like comedy shows. He also like does music, but they're all kind of a joke. Like one of his most popular songs is called Fuck Around and Find Out, FAFO. Like it's just
Fuck around and
Find
FAFO.
yeah,
FAFO.
FAFO.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so I saw him for one of his comedy shows, but then the catch was
So why does he have a comedy show?
because he's a comedian as well.
Oh, okay,
Like,
yeah.
yeah. He's just so talented.
Yeah, so creative.
Yeah,
I think the foundation of his career is like comedy.
Yeah. But how I got the tickets was I was just like swiping on Bumble. I'm like on it just like literally for no reason. Like I just kind of do it to waste time. And then I saw that this guy, he listens to Zach Fox. And so I was like, who the heck listens to Zach Fox?
Like seriously?
Like why is he in your top artists on Bumble? And so I swiped and then like we matched, and so I was like, that's the first thing I mentioned. He was like, oh, I actually have tickets to see him on Sunday and have an extra if you want to go. And I was like, yeah, I do. This is like our fourth message. I was like, yeah, I do.
First time seeing him?
Yeah.
This guy. And so I was just like, fuck it, let's do it. And so I went. It was a great time. We were no longer talking because he sent a text saying, hey, I don't think this is happening. I don't think either of us are feeling this. And I was like, yep, agree. And so
Did he say he wasn't feeling it?
he said, I think you're not feeling it.
Yes, I think he was interested.
But
I
that's
think he
so
was
funny
interested.
that he like spoke on your behalf versus like asking you the question.
Oh, I guess.
Right? It was like
That is interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, okay, the thing is, like, I didn't do it super purposefully. Like,
Well, if I vaguely remember the message correctly, it was because you weren't like responding too much, right?
Yeah,
Or like the
because-
types of responses.
like he texted me on a Friday and then like I didn't text him, or I was gonna text him on Tuesday and then he beat me to the punch. You know, like literally I had part of my text drafted like, hey, so nice meeting you, don't think this is gonna work out.
Oh, got it.
But then I felt a little bad. I was like, damn, should I just go on one more date with him because it seems like I used him for these tickets?
No, you can't be. Wait, well, you can't do that anymore. But no, that should not be the thought process.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so so that happened.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy you got to see Zach Fox.
Thank you so much. Love of my life.
Wait, did that make you feel a certain way when he texted you first?
It was a little like feels bad. Like I was like, oh fuck. Like it's just like, even though I don't care about the rejection, because honestly I was gonna end it anyways, like it just like does not feel good to be rejected in any sense.
That's true.
You know? So yeah. And then other than that, I've just been going out a lot.
That's
you.
good.
Yeah.
Enjoying life.
I think it's like a bit too much though. Like it's like twice a week. Like I don't know why I went out on a Wednesday.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
You're living your life.
And then a Thursday. Don't really know why, but it's been fun. So that's
Okay.
been life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we have Diane on the podcast today to just kind of talk about what we've learned the last 2 years through the podcast, through pandemic, just like in our lives, because you know we're ever changing, growing human beings, and I think it's like good to like sit down and reflect sometimes. And so who wants to start us off?
I will, because I feel that mine it falls in the perfect track of trains as your comment.
Oh.
I was really thinking about what this podcast had allowed me to do for the past 2 years. And I think especially just with the COVID times, a lot of people had the opportunity to reflect. And so, yeah, I think, you know, we always say, oh yeah, I should learn more about it. Like I need to get to the root of it. I need to like find out why. But you know, people just kind of say that sometimes. They don't really like put in the effort to do so. But I think the fact that every episode of ours has a topic, right? Just even being able to like hear from you or our guest or right our team, like what your guys' opinions are, allows me to share my opinion, but then also like question, why do I feel this way, right? Which then helps me to really understand, okay, here's my opinion, here's my answer, but the why behind it.
Right. It almost makes like your opinion stronger because we're questioning it.
Yeah.
Either that or like
But-
you just reconsider everything.
Exactly. So it goes both ways, which so I'm happy that I was given the opportunity to discuss and think about various topics. But on the flip side, I think there came a point when we both agreed, or I'm going to speak for myself, that doing too much self-reflection and being too self-aware could be air quotes damaging, because then you're out here just like questioning everything, second guessing everything. And I think there was a point where Like I just wasn't really sure what I thought. Like if I reacted a certain way or thought of a certain thing, because my reaction would automatically be, well, why do I feel that way? Or why am I being like this? I almost felt like I wasn't validating. Well, that's how I feel. But because I was so quick to be like, well, why am I doing that?
Right.
I wouldn't give myself time, or I wouldn't validate it. I wouldn't justify it.
Yeah.
And so then it's like, okay, well then how should I feel? Like, how should I feel? Well, what am I supposed, how am I supposed to respond? Like, how am I supposed to, like, what should I do now? I was just so confused.
It's just like a big dark hole. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think, I've experienced both ends of a spectrum in terms of wanting to do the digging, wanting to know more about myself, but also maybe that too. Was it you sent it? Like, it was an article about like over productivity.
Oh,
Something like that, where you like sometimes when you are too overly self-aware, wanting to know yourself too more can also be rooted from like childhood trauma.
Oh,
that makes
interesting.
sense.
Like, why are you trying so hard to be aware of yourself?
Right.
And so then I feel like I wanted to be a bit, there were many points when I wanted to be more hands-off of like, let's not do the digging. Let's just let it be.
Yes.
Yeah. And just
And then-
live.
Yeah. And so then to wrap that idea up, I was just thinking like, what are some like big themes that we always come back to? And I know there are a couple, like one that we really laughed a lot about because we just kept saying it over and over again. Like reflection. Remember there was one episode when we were like,
Yes.
I reflected upon it. It was like reflection over and over again. But I think for sure it's all about balance, which then also made me think about, but what does like balance mean, right? Like my balance for like working out versus like spending social time is different. Is a different type of balance than maybe your social lifestyle compared to like
Right.
self-care time.
Right.
Sorry, this is going to be kind of a long answer, but then that, because these were all just like thoughts I was thinking about. And then that made me think about, okay, I think when we first started the episode, my approach to the things we would talk about was there's generally one type that is better or superior. Meaning, okay, so then I was thinking about an example, because when I said this in my head, I was like, no one's going to freaking understand what that means.
What does that mean?
Yeah. So for example, like, we always, we joke, but this is the truth that, usually we want the same things,
Right.
but the way we get there is kind of different.
Right.
So, here I am. So I guess like back then, trying to change myself, it would be like, oh, why aren't you as empathetic? Like, let's be more empathetic instead of giving them like solutions all the time and being so like cutthroat and being truthful, because sometimes the truth hurts. Like, why don't I just like ask the questions, like you
Right.
tend to be a bit more softer listening,
Right.
like asking open-ended questions about like, oh, well, why do you feel this way, or like, what do you think, like asking open-ended questions, as opposed to being like me. I could totally see like, well, you did this and this incorrect, like well, if you did this I feel like it would have been better, like why don't you try this, like I think it'll help you out, right? Whereas I feel like my responses are kind of usually like that. So I would think that one being one way would be more superior, or better, preferred. I guess that's the better word, is preferred. Preferred. So I think in the beginning, when we first started this podcast, like there was a lot of like changing that I wanted to do. Like let's be better. I mean, I think so. It's this is also balance, because sure, we can always be better, right? Just whether it be the small things like habits or in the big things too. But I went in like really wanting to change, really wanting to be educated and learn more, become aware to change. Whereas I think at this point right now, I feel very like regimented in my, like in who I am, like let's not always, there was a point where, okay, like for example, like if I'm defensive, right? Why am I so defensive? So then if, I would get into an argument or a conversation, it would be, I would feel defensive, but then I would like kind of suppress it. But learning that suppression is bad too, right?
And then judging yourself for being defensive.
Judging myself. And also just, so I'm not saying it's okay to be defensive, but it's just understanding, like, remember there was a point when I was like, I really don't want to be type A. Like, let me try to be, like, it's like why, like now I'm just like, I wonder why I want to challenge myself. And I know the why, but like what came out of the why. And I mean, if we were all the same type of person,
Boring.
imagine if this entire world was just one type of person.
Boring. Yeah.
So I guess it just made me think about those things, and that's what I learned. I guess essentially that concludes the closing idea would be love myself more.
Aw. Wait, but like, how did you When you
was a
say
lot.
that, like, you didn't want to be type A, like, what did you try to do to not be type A? Because I feel like that's such a, like,
It's
like
with,
hard thing to change
yeah.
about yourself.
Yeah, well, it would be like if someone was like late to a date.
Uh-huh.
I think automatically my reaction is to be like red flag, like don't like that, like that's strike number one. But just relax, don't let it factor my decision in like judging the person. Like don't let this be a factor of any sort. Or what else? Yeah, if like someone made a mistake, it would just be like, okay, like just pass, just pretend like it didn't happen. Like don't. It was kind of dismissing it. It was almost dismissing it. Like did it bother me? Yes, it bothered me. But by me trying to not be so type A,
Interesting.
meaning like it was affecting my schedule, my daily schedule, right? Yeah, because if I had allotted like an hour and a half to go on a date with this person, but they came 30 minutes late. It's like, okay, just free flowing. It's okay. Like we can have an efficient, like good time in an hour.
We have to do 45 minutes.
We can have a good time.
That's a lot of time to be late.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember. Do you remember this?
No, I do.
Yeah. I just couldn't be upset with this person though, because
I see.
he was helping out his parents.
Oh.
It was like
And
a
if there's
valid
anybody who
excuse.
knows about helping out their parents, I feel like it's me. So
Dude, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So that's what I learned. What about you?
There was just so much like you learned about validation,
Yeah.
self-acceptance, like balance,
Yeah.
even in like wanting to change, but then also like accepting yourself and meeting yourself where you're at.
Less
That's a
judgment.
lot. Yeah, that is a lot.
Damn.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just so the overall idea is just love yourself more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Because if I was like, let's say Diane and I were exactly like Hana, or you two were exactly like, it would just be too boring.
Right.
It'd just
Yeah.
be too boring.
Yeah.
I feel like on that note, I think like that's similar to what I've learned in the past 2 years. And I mean, because I just thinking about like when I was first on this podcast and when I first joined this team, I feel like I'm at a very different point in my life. And obviously, or that episode that I was on was talking about my breakup, and I have fully I'm fully like, I feel myself again. And granted, it's been 2 years and it's been a long time, but I feel like there was just so much that I was going through at that time that I wasn't fully processed yet. And a lot of that time was me thinking like, oh, I want to get over it fast. And so coming to this point and reflecting now, I think like that isn't one thing that I've really learned to do as well, is to really fully embrace like where I'm at and love myself. And I think like similarly to Julie, I would judge myself a lot for the person that I am. And I think like when I released those expectations and just kind of was like, again, like embracing where I'm at, that's when I started to really learn how to make myself happy. Because I feel like there was so much, I don't know, when you're like being so judgmental and like your mind is so clouded with all these different thoughts, and you kind of forget like what you even want for yourself,
Right.
and what makes you happy, and like I guess like your true inner voice, because there's just so much like judgment around whatever you're thinking. And so I think when I was able to kind of fully embrace everything, things started to really align. And so I think I've really learned how to make myself happy. Which is like so weird to say, because I feel like, I don't know, if you like go back to those episodes too, you could definitely still hear the hurt in my voice. And like, and now I'm just like, wow, like time really does heal.
Yeah. Because you had to kind of like come out on the other side of things to be able to like listen back to the episodes and be like, whoa, I've like grown a lot since then.
Yeah, because I just remember feeling very affected by it. So even then when I was talking about it, but now it's just like releasing all of that and like learning to accept everything that's happened too. And then also like being very thankful that like it even happened. Because I feel like through that breakup, I've come to so many realizations about myself as well.
Realizations, that was the word. You remember that? That was the word. It was realizations.
You're right. Kylie Jenner.
Yeah, realizations.
Yeah, and so it's just like, I don't know, I feel like, I guess it's just like another testament that time really helps. I mean, it's so cheesy, but it's true.
Yeah, no, and I think that's one of the big things is like, I've started to realize like all these cheesy statements and whatever, like they're all so true. And I think like one of the, like just kind of jumping off of your points, I think like I've learned a lot obviously from like all of the guests that we've had on, but I think especially Julie, because I see you every week. And I think the big one, like I would say for the last couple years, is that you said on one of the episodes, like when one part of your life isn't going well, it kind of bleeds into every single part of your life. And I think that this was like especially true for me these last 2 years, because during a lot of quarantine, like I wasn't working, and you know, I thought that I was like okay not working, having to tell all the family members that I would see at family gatherings like, oh, I'm not working right now, I'm just like living my life and whatever. But then I think once I got like this job that I really really love, and like I got like my lifestyle down in terms of like being active, and then also like trying to find balance in like seeing friends, also moving out, I think I started to realize that like me not having a job was actually affecting me so much more than I like ever thought. Like I don't think I ever felt like fully confident in myself, or like I guess like just like even proud to say like what I'm up to, because right, like that's like a big combo starter like in any setting that you go to. And so I think like me having this job, and then from there having everything else kind of fall in order, like I think it was also like self-love, like self-confidence, like another one of those like cheesy things. But like I get it now. Like I kind of understand why my parents were always like, you should find a job, like, oh, like you should exercise. Like it wasn't because they wanted to be proud of me, but it was almost like because they wanted me to be proud of myself, I think. You know, because they knew it would be good for me. Rather than like for their own like selfish intent. And maybe that's, you know, a deeper thing that I have like projected onto them, where I'm like, your expectations are so high of me, like you guys only want me to do certain things so that you can brag to your friends about them. Like that's a whole different topic. But I think in general, like, damn, my parents were right. Like I don't even think like my friends would say it to me, but I'm sure.
Say what?
Oh, like, are you gonna start working? Are you gonna find a job? But like my sister, like she would even hold back in saying things. And so yeah, I think that was the big one.
It's so funny you mentioned that. I guess this, like, would you have been okay if a friend mentioned that to you?
Yeah, how would you have reacted?
Yeah.
You know what? I don't know.
Personally, I'm very, very curious.
Interesting.
But like, what would this friend even say? Like, oh, are you considering going back to the workforce?
Right. I feel like they would end up just like kind of backing down. Like they would probably ask like, oh, are you applying to jobs? Like whatever. And then I'd be like, no. And the combo would end there.
That makes sense. Yeah. But I also thought that when you weren't working, that you were very happy about not working. Like you were fully okay with it. So that's why that made me think like, oh,
or was she okay with it?
Yeah, and it seems like you weren't aware of that.
I wasn't aware. You see, that's the thing, is like I thought my happiness level was at 100 back then.
Yeah.
But like now that I'm actually at 100, I think I'm looking back and I was like, oh, I was at like 70 maybe.
But that's how you gotta kind of go through these things to even know that.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's just like a lot of like, with hindsight there's clarity. And so
I also wanted to add, you know how you mentioned that at one point you didn't want to be type A? I think by listening to this podcast, you guys have provided like some organization in my life, which is
tuning in every Tuesday morning.
Well, that, but no, but I mean like, okay, I think one of my favorite episodes is the prioritization one, because I've always struggled with like prioritizing things in my life, because I've always been that type of person that like has a lot of interests, wants to do everything and like anything, like has a lot of love for all my family and friends, and just like random people too, like, you know, and like I've always just like wanted to like, I don't know, just like want like the connection aspect, or just like the wanting to connect with people and like meeting new people is like something that I really value. And so I've always had a hard time like balancing and like organizing my life. And like it wasn't until I started listening to you guys like organize your life and like prioritizing that I realized like how important of a life skill it is to have.
Wow.
Because like honestly,
very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, also I guess I'm not as type a type A individual, which is why like listening to you and like even you, I feel like you are pretty organized.
Has
brought, I think this is the spectrum right here. I think most extreme.
Has brought like so much like more ease into my life. Well, even like just listening to that podcast, I realized like, okay, I really need to learn how to prioritize things, because you know, as much as you want to do everything, you can't. You're literally one person. You like to sleep. You need sleep. You need exercise. Like there's no way for you to be able to do everything and anything. So I think I would always live in this like mentality of like, I was always spread thin, but it was like so normal. Right. And like I was always stressed out, like, you know what I mean? It was just like and so I'm sorry, but like, yes, thank you for providing that for me, because I honestly don't think it would have clicked if I didn't listen to that episode.
Wow.
I'm like really glad to hear that, but also like I'm so spread thin right now too.
It's okay, it happens.
Like it's crazy, like we get this advice.
It is crazy. No, it is crazy, because and you saying that I've been saying kind of often these days is you can't have your cake and eat it too, right? And at first I wasn't sure what that meant, because my boss would say it to me all the time, and I was like, well, it's your cake, why can't you eat it? But like if for those who don't know what it means like actually having the cake, right? You can't like eat it and want the cake to physically be there if you want to eat it, is what it means. I
did not know that. Thank you so much.
I thought, because I was like, well, if it's your cake, like why can't you eat it? And so I think for me, like, so kudos. I truly think kudos to those who can do it all and can survive like kind of on a more spread thin level. But you know, I feel like sometimes, like, I know I'm aware that I can be selfish and greedy. There's so many things that I want to do. Like you said, like I want to work out. I want to hang with friends. I want a romantic relationship and have time for my family and sleep and work. And you know, I want to spend time with my dogs, and I want to go shopping. Shopping is like you know, it's a lot of time as well.
Category, yes.
And so you know, I want to, and I love watching like Korean TV shows. Like I love it all. So like I want to do it all, but you just can't. You just can't. So what am I trying to say? Is I think I've become like okay with like chopping some off, like deprioritizing, or being okay with not being able to do it all. Right?
Yeah, but also I feel like it also has to do with like putting a timeline that I didn't even know was there for myself, because I wanted to do all these things at once, because I felt like I had to complete something or get to a certain goal by a certain time frame. So after I let go of that, and then learning that like, okay, maybe I can't get to this now, but I will eventually get to it. You know, the priorities are this right now, and this is what I want to focus on. That doesn't necessarily mean that you can't come back to it, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's helped me a lot.
Yeah. I feel like that would be, this would be a great, another episode topic.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do another.
Like a going with the flow.
Right? I would have nothing to contribute.
No?
Nothing to contribute.
Different
do you know the TikTok sound?
Which one?
Like they're like, go with the flow, but when does the flow start, or something like that? And just all these type A girls are like responding to that. Like, I want to go with the flow, but like, yeah, like when does the flow start? I don't know when the flow starts.
Yeah. You know, in going with the flow, I think one major thing that I realized is that I am so happy single. Like, okay, guys, for context, I have been in one relationship, right? And that happened at age 23. Is it 24? I want to say 23. And then I have a group of 9 girlfriends. And to be completely honest, usually 7 of the 9 have a boyfriend. But there was a good chunk of time when 8 out of 9, so everyone but me, was in a relationship. And so I think like I created this like narrative in my head that like I won't be complete if I don't have like a relationship. Like everybody has their person, right? We go to a lot of concerts, a lot of festivals, events, and so when everyone is coupled up and it's like just me, I always need, you know, I need like a friend. I need a friend because everyone is with their boyfriend. But then like I think I like kind of came to a point where I was like, you know what, no, like if this person doesn't like add value to my life, and not everything needs to be that transactional, but like genuinely, if I don't want to like hang out with them like more than I want to hang out with like either of you, then like why am I doing this? And so I think it was just like maybe just like a lack of like self-respect, and like, you know how I said like maybe the whole job thing like was affecting me more than I thought.
Yeah.
I think that like it was affecting me kind of in my dating life. Like I would kind of like lower my standards because my standards for myself were lower. And so, right, like my dad always says like when you're feeling good about yourself, you attract good things. But when you aren't like feeling great about yourself, you attract like not so great things. So he would constantly tell me like, you need to get yourself like up to 100% so you can meet somebody who is like at 100% of what you deserve. And so I think it was just it just took a long time. It took 25 years for me to like really, really, really be happy single. And so I think that is huge. Like genuinely, it feels so good to like feel like content with myself in my life. Yeah.
I like that a lot.
And to be honest, like Diane, you would always say, I'm happily single. And I was like, okay, I'm happily single. I was not happily single. I was like dreading the singleness.
I to be honest, I could see it. And when Hannah would like repeat that to me, I'd be like, Hannah, are you sure? But I also feel like, just to add on to that, I think like a lot of people dread this idea of being single, right? Because you know, like in media, it's always like highlighted to be with someone, to find your other half and whatever. But I feel like I've truly mastered that as well, and I'm happy that you have finally come to this point. Also, I think everyone knows like in our personal lives that Hannah is my boyfriend. But to further affirm, Hannah is my boyfriend.
Thank you so much. Yes, and Diane
to all the gogis.
Is your boyfriend.
And
yeah,
Diane
we're
is
like
my boyfriend.
each other's plus one like most of the time.
Yeah. Like if I were to go to med prom, I would bring Diane.
Yeah, any event that requires a
I like
plus
that.
one.
The boyfriends.
Yeah.
The boyfriends.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, and so I'm enjoying life, guys. It's been great. But also, I think like with all of this stuff, right, it's easy to like compare yourself. So if you're not happily single, it's okay. It'll take time. And like maybe you'll never get there. That's okay too.
I mean, if you like being in a relationship all the time, like that's your life. Like live how you want to live, you know? Just like don't make yourself feel bad for not having something. I think is like the
I
main
think it goes
thing.
back, right, to what I had said about there's always a preferred. And I think in society you might think like, yeah, like, okay, well, what's the next stage in terms of like life stages would be to date, then, you know, married. And that's kind of the more like traditional route, right? Then have a baby, and then your baby has a baby, and your grandma. That's the tradition, right? But instead of like comparing like that, just like, well, like, what do you want? Right. And I think that's, you know, I don't really like comprehensively know the real, or maybe I do know, maybe I just haven't like I don't know, processed it. But a part of why I deleted Instagram is because of the whole, you know, too much. You know too much. Like if I didn't know this, I think I would have been happier. But the fact is I already saw it. So like I already know, and now I'm comparing, or it makes me feel a certain way. And so going back to what I had said initially, just like do what you want. Do what you want.
Yeah, because I also think like that's maybe for you like a self-protection like mechanism. I think like my dad, he always talks about self-preservation. Sometimes you don't want to know. And so like that's a big reason why, like, to be honest, I'm completely apolitical, because like I know that I am privileged in like not having to keep up with all these politics, but it's like genuinely because like I've had so many experiences where it's made like my household divisive, like friendships divisive, and so I've like chosen to kind of like step out of that. And so I think that like a lot of things that we do, like, it's for self-preservation.
Also, my comment was not to tell you that you can keep Instagram if you want.
I agree.
That's just you know,
what you're doing.
What I'm doing. So
right. And you've been enjoying it?
Yes.
Great.
I will. This is kind of side comment, but also I will say though, like the comparison, I feel like is very like you do it unconsciously too, so it's not very overt. So I think like even with me, like I've been kind of going through. I do like a weekly Instagram and TikTok cleanse, so I won't like go on it. Like like I'll post for bulgogi and then like do what I have to do for bulgogi and then like try to not be on it so much because I realized there was like something on a video I saw on YouTube about this girl talking about how it's really hard for you to find your voice in this age because obviously there's so much noise and you like are constantly bombarded with like so many different voices that like you don't even know for yourself like what you want.
Exactly.
And so I think like I guess this isn't an example, but it's like when I was thinking about like I know what I want to do, which is like music, but then like there's so many times where I was confused or like I thought I wanted to get into tech because on TikTok, you know, it's like they all
like
talk about TikTok.
PM, like a PM makes this
and
much
like
amount,
the
and here are the
steps that you
perks.
have to like take to blah blah blah, or like I don't know, just like so many different scenarios where this has applied to my life, but like you don't even realize it. And so I think like when you are, I really respect your decision to like fully unplug from you know, Instagram. I mean it's a great resource in the end, but do what you gotta do.
Just
she may be back on it, guys. I'm getting from this side.
No,
I'm gonna be back on it.
Actually, no, I really like the goal is to be so detached from it that I don't even want it back. And I feel like in the past I have said, oh, I don't want it, but I'll like be on it a lot.
Right.
But this is I'm gonna need to find a therapist, I think. It's truly just brings me such like to such a dark place. Instagram, I don't know what it is.
That's wow.
But I'm enjoying my time at not knowing.
Wait, that's great.
I haven't really so I stopped journaling, but I've decided this week that I need to start journaling again. Because what you said about, you know, when you're not in a good space, how you attract like not good things, and I feel like it's infiltrating my dreams.
That's like subconscious too.
Yeah. So like, I feel like it's affecting my dream. I've been having really vivid dreams, and I think it is affecting that. So I need to start journaling again.
Okay, and if you need a therapist, I have some recommendations.
Wait, have you ever done therapy before?
No, I haven't.
Wow, that's
I started.
great.
I opened multiple tabs to sign up, and then I just didn't complete any of it.
That's really exciting.
It's okay.
So,
First steps. I think it takes a little
So
bit
now
of time.
they keep texting me like, "Oh, like are you gonna finish it? Like, please finish it. Like, we have some great therapists." Blah blah blah.
Is it through BetterHelp?
Like
I
who's
have no
texting you?
idea.
Yeah,
I
who's
don't know.
texting you?
Yeah, another coworker recommended this one. I don't know.
I
But
see.
clearly, I got past the part where I put in my phone number and my email address. So,
That's great.
so yes.
Oh wow.
I love that. That makes me happy.
Yeah.
That people want to,
pursue like a healthy mental state.
Yeah. I just feel like I need somebody to like just be there to hear everything, like unbiased, like no context.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to like word vomit. Literally word vomit. I just want to tell them everything.
Yeah. Because I think like to a certain extent, like though I like talking, I don't want to talk and feel like a burden to people. And so, because also that influence is there, like them and all of that. And so I think a therapist is always
I think it'd be good to think about like how many people can you really unfiltered tell everything to, just so unfiltered, and just think about it.
It would just be God and your therapist.
I think it should just be like that. Or that's just how it should be. I don't know if you should you want to be able to, you know what I mean? Like there's so many things that go on in your head, and like not everything is a concrete thought or like a valid, even a valid thought,
right?
Or reasonable even. So it's like to be able to do that to another person that you love or whatever, you don't know how that could affect them.
So then my journal used to be that, but then I got tired of writing. So then like my hand would hurt.
No, I know what you mean.
No, I totally feel that.
But I think for now I'll have to go back to that until.
I hope you find it. Therapist you like.
So too.
I'm manifesting that for you.
Oh, thank you so much.
I'm blessing you right now.
Oh, thank you. Let me receive.
She is blessed.
I think I received.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yay.
Well, is there anything else that we've learned in the last 2 years? I feel like it's been a lot of growth.
Good for us, man. I think we need to pat ourselves on the shoulders.
Okay, everyone.
Good job, guys.
Wait, no one's patting me.
I'm leaning.
No one's petting you.
It's like an energy, like we're just like.
Okay, well, thank you guys so much for joining us on another episode of bulgogipod. You guys can find Diane at
Damn
D.
and do you want to plug all your other accounts?
I don't even remember. Okay, to be honest, everybody, I've been on a hiatus on music, but I actually started a new Instagram just for music.
Wow. Wait, did you have one for music?
No, I
was a
have
YouTube
YouTube
channel.
So I mean, I haven't started posting yet, so you don't have to follow it. But I mean, if you want to, it's
Awesome.
Diana ____. It's a lot of underscores. Diane.
Yes.
Okay.
And yeah, I'll plug. Hana will include all my other Instas, SoundCloud, YouTubes.
Yes. I'll include all the links in our description. And then you can find us on Instagram and TikTok at bulgogi.podcast. Me on Instagram at HANAKATTT.
And me on TikTok at BEJULIFIED. Cool. 3, 2, 1.
We're a little flat.
Sick.
I think that's all right.
Bye.